Boop. Welcome to our channel. This is our first video ever on this channel, and we really wanted to create this channel to help guide others on their spiritual path, or even if you just want to get to know yourself better and heal yourself. And we want to offer a couple things on this channel that might help people, where we can maybe give back and help others with all the things we went through.
We can start by telling our story, some of the hardships and the strongholds that we've been through.
I want to start by saying that you want to make your head a good place to live. You can never get away from yourself, so it's important to be careful what thoughts you allow yourself to think and focus yourself on the things you actually want in life.
You know, surround yourself with people who you see have a future rather than people of your past. You are who you surround yourself with. You know?
Birds of a feather flock together. But yeah, it's important to make sure you're aware of your surroundings, because oftentimes we're surrounded by energy draining people who, even if they don't mean it, they're toxic, and just being around them produces anxiety, produces fear, produces worry. And you want to cut that off. The biggest thing I think about becoming spiritual and becoming more aware of yourself is checking yourself. Being like, look, you're fucking up right now. And actually being able to have some truth with yourself, because at the end of the day, the things we lie about are probably things we shouldn't be doing in the first place, are probably things that don't sit right with our heart. And when you lie, you're honestly just lying to yourself. First step for addiction is to admit you have a problem. That's really with anything. If you are insecure, you have to first admit, okay, there's something that I'm having a problem with. Either I'm viewing myself wrongly or I'm comparing myself to others, but you have to recognize the problem and where you're going wrong. It doesn't matter what you look like or where you are in life. There are happy people in lower situations than you. People who don't have clean water and still wake up with a smile and still can maintain their life. So it doesn't matter what you have or where you are. Happiness isn't a destination.
It lies within yourself.
Exactly.
It's crazy how you can be sitting in a cell and be so free, but be outside of that cell, out of those walls, and be a prisoner. Yes. You know? So
it's very true. I mean, it's freedom is a state of mind too, because like she said, there are prisoners who find liberation and happiness. You know, it's not about where you are, where you stand. It's about taking your circumstance for exactly what it is, accepting it as if you had chosen it. Acceptance is one of the, I think is the biggest key to happiness.
Yes, because you gotta accept how your life is at the moment, because you know, I truly do believe like everything happens for a reason. You are where you're at right now for a reason. There are bigger, happier, bigger things that's gonna happen from this, you know, this struggle that you're going through.
It's hard. I also want to bring up another point. For a long time, ever since I was a little girl, I always remembered myself super depressed, you know, at an age where you wouldn't even think a kid would think thoughts like that. And it just got so comfortable thinking those dark thoughts, self-sabotaging myself, putting myself in a dark place was comfortable. Mm-hmm. So getting out of that was hard, and I didn't realize I was hurting myself. It was my state of mind. Rain or shine, it's just a state of mind. So now I try to look at when things happen, I try to smile, and I try to, you know, because that means you're alive. You know, if you feel pain or you feel hurt, that means you truly are living and surviving, right? You know, and it's a sign that it's important to give yourself credit where credit's due. Like, we always think, damn, we have so far to go, or I haven't even done that much, you know, but you have to take it is for what it is. The monsters in our head, you know, we all have that voice that talks to us, where I'm not really sure who that voice is or what it is, because I swear it doesn't talk like me, but it's there, and we all have one, right? We have a little voice that thinks for us, basically. Our thoughts become actions. If you don't like where you are in this exact moment, your situation right now is based on the result of your past thoughts and actions. You can't do anything in life without first creating it up here. Your thoughts are very powerful, so you want to make sure that you're aware of your thoughts and that you can filter them out. So when you have a bad thought that you know isn't leading you to the better side, then you think, okay, that's a bad thought. We're gonna throw that out and I'm gonna replace it. Or if I think, damn, like I really messed up, that was a big mistake, I can think, okay, what is this teaching me? Okay, well, at least I'm happy. At least I'm not hungry. You can just, whatever it is to make yourself replace that one negative thought with 3 positive thoughts. It really is like a reverse conditioning of your mind so you can get to the mindset that you want.
Like self-love is a big thing because, I remember always putting myself down, always talking down to myself. If I made a mistake, like I felt like the worst person in the world. I thought I deserved the worst things to happen to me. But you gotta look at yourself look at yourself as if you had a daughter. Like, how would you love your daughter or your sister or your mom? You're a human being. You make mistakes. We don't know the book of life. We don't know how to live life accordingly. You know what I mean? Yes. So we gotta just accept our mistakes and move forward.
Self-love is one of the most important loves you can have in your life, because if you don't love yourself, you really can't love other people to the extent that you could have you love yourself, because once you love yourself, you know what love to give out. Love isn't hateful, love isn't judging, love isn't envious, love is happiness, love is safety, love is, like a sanctuary. It's a place where you can find comfort, and I think you should treat yourself as you treat others. You should treat yourself as you treat your best friend or your boyfriend or your kids. Treat yourself with respect and love and compassion and understanding.
I think you should also even treat others with that same respect, because I feel like we put others down too much. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's just trying to figure out life just like us. You know what I mean? And I feel like we just put each other down without even thinking about it.
Life is really hard, and it's really hard until we find out how to make it simpler. Us as humans, we're very complex creatures, and emotions are a byproduct of us. And we're all going through life not knowing what we're doing, really. We're all kind of just winging it at the end of the day. And it's nice to be there for people. You get what you give, So if you're a nice, compassionate person, compassionate people are going to find you. When you're toxic and degrading, you're going to find those same type of people, because energy attracts itself, So that's kind of what I want to touch on, is that be where you want to be, envision yourself where you already want to be, manifest yourself into the desires and the life that you want to live, because everything starts up here. And the biggest part about, getting through your invisible wounds that nobody can see, and I think that's one of the hardest things, being suicidal or having depression is very hard, because it's like we have this such deep pain and nobody can see it. It's not like when you have a bruised up leg or bruised up face where it heals and
it's like you can't
you
even
get sympathy,
it.
It's like a pain that is almost non-real, and that's why people self-harm and they do things to express that and to relieve that pain that they feel so deeply.
And that's why people get addictions like drugs, they fall into the wrong crowd, and they just want acceptance, you know what I mean?
For sure. So. And if you're struggling with addiction, drug abuse, or anything, any of your struggles, I want to let you know that addiction, all that, it all has a deeper root.
Yes.
If you find yourself using drugs all the time, it's because of a deeper problem, that you have to deal with.
That's your solution to your problem. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There is something better out there.
So another way that I encourage you to heal yourself and your pain and your trauma that you might have gone through is by embracing it. You have to understand that these things happen to you, or you went through these things, but you have 3 choices. You either let it destroy you, you let it define you, or you let it make you stronger. I always encourage people who deal with trauma and really painful things is to create something, whether it be a song, whether it be a painting, whether it be music. Be able to express that pain in a way so you can look back at it and, at least find some type of beauty in it. The most famous songs are breakup songs. Somebody's pain and breakup, we're able to provide them with a career or with something else, and it allows you to express yourself, because oftentimes when we go through these things, we bottle them up and they eventually explode. And that would happen to me a lot. I would end up having these crazy breakdowns where I was afraid of myself.
Right, same.
And it was really scary. And up until the point where I started facing my thoughts and my fears and I started thinking, okay, I'm feeling this way because of this, but how can I make me feel better about this? Well, I'd start being grateful. Like, okay, well, at least I have this. At least I have this. At least I learned that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's where the awareness comes in. When you're aware of your thoughts, like, okay, like, I'm maybe overreacting over this situation, or, just become aware of your thoughts and change them in that moment. Like, that's what I've been doing. It's just, like, being like, okay, this is just a bad thought. Like, I can switch it to something better.
And I want to say, because doing this, I remember when I first started filtering out my own thoughts, I read this one thing in a book. It was like, on average, humans have between 60,000 to 100,000 thoughts a day. And that's a lot of thoughts. So you have to think, out of all those thoughts that we think a day, how many are positive and leading us to a more positive mindset? Basically, when I first started filtering out my thoughts, whenever I get a bad memory or a bad thought, I would just throw it out. I'd like, okay, don't think about that. And then I would explode.
Mm-hmm.
And so you really have to face that thought, that painful memory, whatever it is, and accept yourself for feeling that way. Be like, okay, this is a sad feeling, but I'm going to embrace it. Yep. I'm going to feel it, and then I'm going to let it go.
Exactly.
And I promise you, it might be hard at first, but you will eventually, your brain will eventually get conditioned to the way you want it to be. Our brains is where everything starts and where everything ends. So you want to make sure that, like I said, your home, your brain is a happy place to live in, because it's the one person you can't ever get away from. Right. So don't let your mind control you. Don't let your thoughts and your emotions override you, because oftentimes we'll overreact and we'll react based on pure emotion.
Yes.
And then we'll hate ourselves for doing it.
After.
And we'll be like, okay, I just made a fool out of myself, or I really didn't have to do all that.
Right.
And then it makes us feel shittier. So I really want you guys to practice, just sit right down right now and think about the thoughts you're having,
start training
filter
your mind.
them out,
right? And try and make it to where you make your whole 24 hours that day like full positivity, and soon it'll become like your life.
You can't give away oranges if you don't have oranges. And what it was saying basically was that if you're not happy yourself, you can't make somebody else happy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not happy, how can you make your boyfriend happy? How can you make your friend happy? How can you make your kids happy? And so you kind of have to have that within, and once you do, it radiates on everybody.
Yes.
You meet people,
all
see
your
that
relationships,
glow.
your relationships with your boyfriend, your family, your best friends, you know what I mean? Like, it'll all become better.
Yes, for sure. Energy is contagious. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope it gives you some suggestions and advice on how to cope with your own mind and how to heal yourself.
And also, if you do have any video suggestions, please put them in the comments below.
Also hit that subscribe button.
This is our first video, so it might be a little rough,
but we'll get better in time.
Yeah, we hope to. And this is kind of just a rough draft to see how it goes, and we hope to help many people in the process. So we thank you guys for taking the time out to sit here and watch us and hear what we have to say.
We'll see you next time.
Please subscribe.